Today, I'm going to help you confidently decide which one of these machines is right for you. This year, Breville have come out with two of the best entry-level all-in-one espresso machines on the market, the Barista Express Impress and the Barista Touch Impress. But with a significant price difference between them, it's not necessarily an easy decision to make based on the spec sheet alone. Just quickly before we get going, I think it's important to note that this is not a sponsored video in any way. I'm making this comparison purely to help people make an informed buying decision. I purchased both these machines with my own money. So if you do want to check your local pricing for either of them, I'll have them both linked directly down in the description below. Using those links helps us support this type of video at absolutely no added cost to you. I also already have in-depth reviews on both these machines, so in this video we'll just be focusing on the differences. Starting off with the build quality and design, despite these both being brand new models, the chassis used on these is very different. The Touch Impress uses the newest generation body and design that can be found on the Barista Pro, while the Express Impress is still using the ancient body style from the original Barista Express. While the differences are mostly aesthetic, the Touch Impress does overall just feel like a more modern and well-polished product, strictly from a build quality standpoint, and this is an aspect that's tough to overlook when you are buying a brand new machine. Moving on to functional differences, let's start with making straight espresso or Americanos. Both these machines are new generation Brevilles, meaning that they are running at the proper 9 bar of pressure needed for traditional single wall espresso shots. In terms of workflow, the machines are almost identical. They both use the very convenient and consistent integrated dosing and tamping system that gives them both the Impress designation, and at the same grind, temperature, and shot size settings, they will produce an identical shot of espresso to one another. One aspect worth considering is if you are comfortable getting to that point on your own, meaning dialing in the grind size to achieve the proper flow rate for your specific coffee. If this is the first time you're hearing about dialing in, then the Touch Impress has a pretty big leg up, in that it will walk you through this process step by monitoring the flow rate and telling you what adjustments to make based on that. Of course, this is also something you can do with a little bit of research and practice on the Express Impress, but the additional hand-holding on the Touch is a very nice feature for new users. Rounding out this coffee section of the comparison, let's quickly talk about Americanos. If you enjoy a full-size drink rather than an espresso shot, both these machines have dedicated water outlets for that purpose, which are also just handy for a quick hot water for things like tea or baking. On the Touch Impress, the hot water outlet is located right behind the group head, so that you don't even need to move your cup in between pulling the shot and adding water. In fact, you don't even need to press any additional buttons. If you select Americano from the drinks menu, the machine will pull the shot and then automatically dispense the desired amount of water immediately after. On the Express Impress, the water spout is in the front corner of the machine, and it is manually controlled, meaning that you need to turn it on with a switch on the side of the machine, and it will run until you turn it back off. Moving on to milk-based drinks such as lattes and cappuccinos, this is where we see the biggest difference between these two machines. On the Express Impress, much like its older body style, it also uses the older generation heating system, meaning that after pulling your shot, there is a good 20 to 30 second transition time while the machine gets up to steaming temperature. Once up to temperature, the steaming power is also weaker, taking around 60 to 70 seconds to steam a single drink. In comparison, the newer heating system found on the Touch Impress only takes a couple seconds to start steaming, and it will steam your drink a good 10 to 20 seconds faster once it gets there. It might seem like nitpicking talking about seconds, but overall the Touch Impress is going to be around 40 seconds quicker per drink, which really adds up if you're serving multiple people back to back. Apart from the pure steaming speed, the next biggest consideration is the fact that the steaming on the Touch Impress is also automatic, meaning that you don't need to manually add air, integrate it to make that silky texture, and stop once you're at the right temperature. You simply set the milk type, texture, and temperature you want, and the machine takes care of the rest, leaving you free to prep the next espresso shot or even start cleaning up. Each set of settings can also be saved into a drink profile, so you don't need to re-enter it every morning. I could create a recipe called Matt's Latte, and it would create a cow's milk latte at 65 degrees Celsius with medium foam every single morning. On the Express Impress, you're on your own. And for people who crave the manual home barista experience, That isn't necessarily even a bad thing. However, do keep in mind that there is a learning curve to steaming milk to get the correct texture. So if latte art is what you're after, expect a few weeks of ugly blobs at the beginning while you learn the proper technique. Overall, these are both two of my favorite machines to recommend to brand new home baristas because of how they completely remove the typical frustrations of learning how to dial in and prep an espresso puck. It gives new owners the experience they're probably imagining when owning an espresso machine, where you walk up, press a few buttons, and walk away with a great tasting drink. If you are going to be making lots of milk drinks, or even just lots of different drinks, then the Barista Touch Impress does have some significant advantages with the programmability and improved steaming performance. However, if you just want espresso, or you're willing to take a little more time to steam and time to learn the intricacies of texturing milk yourself, then you can go with the Express Impress confidently, knowing that you aren't actually sacrificing anything in terms of quality in the cup. Most of the advantages of this machine are in terms of convenience and speed. Again, if you want to check out either of these two machines, I will have them linked right down in the description below. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave us a like and even consider subscribing if you want to see some more like it in the future. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.